welcome back to this deck. Yeah, you can see Zane, like he's, like the green screen thing is like showing him a little bit. Oh, he's so cute. Anyway, that green screen thing's really not working. Hang on, let me play with it a little bit. Oh shit, I gotta do it elsewhere. Either way, no, you weren't here first. I was here first. Also, hi Gothic. Good seeing you. Let's see your camera capture. There it is. Filters. Up that. There we go. Yeah, it's still, for some reason, getting my background way too much. God damn it. I don't like it. I don't like it. There we go. Now I'm just off center. It's whatever. Close. There we go. Okay, that... Unless I'm just like waving around like a psychotic person, I should be fine. Which I probably will be, because I talk with my hands a lot. I think, why can't things be easy? If I move my green screen directly behind me, that'd probably be better, but I don't want to move my green screen because that's on another stage. Although I could just move it here. Anyway, that's off topic. Let's actually talk about anime. Alright. This week we ate good. We had some good food when it came to anime. Good side is we had some great episodes, and yeah, I'm just getting really distorted. Why? Like, you were just fine last night. Today? I think I know why. Hang on. I'm gonna be right back. Hang on, stand by, I'll be right back. Oh shit, I still have it in studio mode. Now stand by, I'll be right back. That was weird. It just repeatedly did that. It is a bit better. Basically, I just closed the blinds that were behind me. So that should be mo better. Because it was night last time I was doing it. And now it's just like super aggressive. So I'm going to be tweaking that as I talk a little bit. We ate good. The episodes that we had this week and a lot of the animes I talk about, they were good. They were good. We got the conclusion of this arc with Tsukumichi Moonlight Fantasy. So the only problem we ran into with the only thing I don't like about the episodes we got is a lot of them were the season finales, which means I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life. I'm gonna have this hole in my heart where these animes, like, we're filling it. I was like, yeah, I got a reason to wake up Friday. I got a new anime episode to watch. It's like, no. Thankfully, like, there's some that just never seem to stop. Like, that time I got reincarnated as a slime. It's not doing, like, any of the major fighting ones, but it is definitely doing the campy, the more campy episodes, which is fine. Those are good. I'm gonna really have to tweak all this, because this is bothering the hell out of me. Like, it really is. I almost want to turn off the NVIDIA remover, which is what's making me look this way. See how I'll look if I turn it off. Oh. The Firk? Oh, that's why. Okay. Hang on. 1 second. There's probably a better way to be doing this, but I'm not doing it. That's game capture. So, anyway, I'm going to casually be talking about this while I'm doing it. You know, there's a bit of multi-brain stuff going on here. Yeah, I don't like you guys seeing my background, because it's like, ew. But, yes, fuck it. I was trying not to do this, but it's just looking too distorted, and it's bothering me. Alright, in that case, I could probably stretch this out a bit more. Whee! There we go. Now I just take up the full screen. There we go. That's better. I guess we'll run like this. Not a fan of it. That's what I'm going to do. Anyway, so let's start with Tsukumichi Moonlight Fantasy, which is my favorite isekai at this point. We got a conclusion. It was more of a wrap up episode where it talks about like the aftermath of him saving everybody, saving the town, and like his relationship with everybody. Kind of like is a little further expanded. Kind of a big deal, kind of not, is everybody became he named Shiki, which I finally remembered his name, Tomoe, and Mio. He gave them his last name, which is a big deal in their culture. To the two women, he effectively said, "Hey, you're my wives now," and to Shiki, he's like, "Cool, I'm a member of this family now." Unlike when they initially got their name, they didn't get a power up from this. At least they didn't visibly, which is not a big deal. And we also find they don't reveal this directly. They don't reveal this directly, but they set up that like Sofia Bolga might be dead, and she's not. Like, I'll tell you that right now. Spoilers, she's not. So her dad, I'm gonna call it her dad, Bonshoku, aka Root. He addresses her because he was aware of her presence, and he was aware that she was an experiment he had created, mixing his blood with humans, which I don't think he grew her in a lab. I think he, did the obvious thing, and because that's never directly addressed. And it said he rips the dragons she had consumed out of her so that they could be reborn, because she had killed like 5 dragons, and then she's got her own. She's technically her own dragon, a lesser dragon. And it's set up to make it look like she dies, but in reality, I'm going to spoil it. He basically just forces her to be reborn, because greater dragons can't die; they just get reborn unless they get consumed by another dragon. So that's what happens there. And it's kind of like a fuck you to, as a fuck you to Root. Makoto hadn't killed her. He knew he didn't kill her. And then Root's response was to keep her alive, but refresh her memories so she doesn't remember her hatred for Makoto, and basically makes her into an ally. And then also, while forcing him to, or requesting that he, as the guild leader, to deliver the eggs so that they can be hatched and reborn, because those are all of his kids. Those who don't know, Root, Bunshuku, or however the fuck it is, he is the father of all dragons. He is the father. His wife, the mother of all dragons, he killed. He killed and ate her. She is now the undead dragon. She's the dragon that helps things move on to the afterlife. And those are the 2 most powerful, with Tomoe being the 3rd. I actually do want to do a video talking about that. But no, we ate pretty good with this episode. It was a very good feel-good episode. It kind of sets the groundwork for the next major arc, which is when you find out a bit more about the demon culture. You start seeing more of the dark side of the other characters, and you have the biggest therapeutic moment coming. And season 3 has been announced, by the way. You have the biggest therapeutic moment coming up when Makoto meets the other hero, the one that tried to enslave Tomoe. It is the most therapeutic moment coming up. You thought Sofia Bolga kicked the shit out of him? Oh no. Makoto unleashes like 1% of his power, and it is glorious. So y'all gotta love it. So that's Tsukumichi Moonlight Fantasy. I am very much looking forward to season 3 when it officially comes out. I don't know the release date. It's just been announced that they're working on it, or that it should be coming out. I don't know if they were working on it as season 2 came out. I kind of wish this was one of those animes that, like One Piece, where they just never stop releasing episodes, because this is a manga that's already finished, effectively. All right, so we got that out of the way. I'm gonna start doing my backdrops like what, because I'm not playing with the camera anymore, so I don't need to do that. All right, let's see. What's the next one we'll talk about? Oh yeah, my personal favorite one, or my other favorite isekai. Here we go. Oh shit, that's Game Shot. It's doing that. Is that Game Shot? Hang on. Is Game Shot doing that? I don't like that. I don't like that. Okay, that's Game Shot. Why is Game Shot making me look so fucking big? There we go, that's better. I'll probably have to crop this one. That's whatever. We'll worry about that later. Anyway. Chillin' at level 2. This is my other favorite anime, or isekai especially. Um, they finally had the conclusion of like the demon lords fighting each other. You find out why the original one was so powerful. It wasn't just because he was just more powerful. He had to hold back in this fight, but because he knows how to seal the Milicium that's in demons, which effectively, when that happens, they effectively become humans. You get to see that. You get that good vibe. But more importantly, you finally get to see the two main characters, these two, show their love for each other. Like they actually do. They do actually get to have that sex finally, that good sex. He gets over his hang up on it, and because in the manga, if I remember correctly, they do end up having a kid. And if I remember correctly, the princess kind of falls in love with their kid, which is really weird, age difference wise, but whatever, fantasy world. If I remember correctly, it's been a while. They don't. I doubt there's going to be a season 2. They don't need to, because the next arc in the story is not. It's not as interesting. It's not as interesting, at least what I remember of it, because like it was just the first part that I cared about. For those who want to know what happened afterwards, Ballerina becomes the second wife of the former demon lord, whose name I can't remember, and the cat girl becomes his first wife. So he ends up with 2 wives, and the former demon lord, kind of tries to act like a bridge, a public bridge between humans and demon society. It's kind of cool. It is kind of cool. As while I'm talking, if you have any questions about anime, any of them, even the ones I'm not actively talking about, hit me up. Alright. This is another one that I'm really enjoying. Once again, this is another isekai. So him using the appraisal skill just makes it interesting. So I was fully expecting, and they still might do it, the woman he recruited in the second to last episode to like betray the family and whatever, and it hasn't come up. She continues like the little war games they were doing to prove that she is valuable as an advisor. And you find out really quickly her way of fighting is not like his, and not like his. He's big about using tricks and traps. He's very straightforward and aggressive. She is very much about tricks and traps. Like that is 100% her thing. But she also, because she understood her limitations, she's really smart about it. It was really good. She recognized that the troops underneath her could not win a one-on-one fight. And she did point out that even the rookies in like after the whole thing, she points out even the rookies, even the newbies in the military that they're forming are better than the average soldier that she's ever seen. Using her tricks, using her way of manipulating the game, she was able to eventually bring them to a victory where they captured him, which was the goal. He was the other strategist, and he learns why she was making him run so much, because she said a soldier's... Go ahead and ask the question. She was teaching him that yes, a soldier's life is important, but the strategist dying can end the whole fight. So he needed to learn to get away. He needed to learn to run because she was able to catch up to him while carrying this guy. So that's a big deal. And it was pretty good. But the conclusion, this is because this is probably another season finale, I think. She concludes with basically saying, so for you to achieve what you want, you're going to have to become an emperor. Yeah. I will mention Demon Slayer. I'm not going to go in depth because I know Gothic hasn't seen it and I don't want to spoil things for her. Specifically her, because she's my sister. Let's talk Demon Slayer. I'm not going to switch back and forth the scene. Y'all get to watch and see my full watch list. Alright. So we got to find out the backstory to this guy. And it's depressing. As it should be. It's Demon Slayer. The only thing I want to talk about with Demon Slayer in this one is... I'm warning you guys. I'm warning you. Y'all thought Zenitsu was a joke? You thought he was a unserious character, you know, a throwaway character, an annoying throwaway character? After this episode, you're going to see the side of him that we didn't want. Okay? Trust me. He is not a joke. He's not a throwaway character. Y'all gonna be eating good, because I know what happens. Y'all who don't know, stand by. Stand by to stand by. That's all I want to say about Demon Slayer. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood as my first answer every single time. I still haven't caught up to this. I haven't been watching this. I'm letting that get ahead. Oh, let's do Newgate, just because I literally just finished this this episode just before the stream. I still hate Newgate. I still hate it. It feels like there's no stakes to this. Once again, he is super OP. So, the last episode ended with like them finding a horde of monsters. In this one, he straight up admits, yeah, I could have killed them all simultaneously. It would have been nothing. But I'm trying to hide how powerful I am. That is the most annoying trope for me in any anime, second only to the Chosen One, like Ichigo. Yeah, he was with the princess, and he didn't want her to find out how powerful he is, so he didn't like whip his dick out and kill all of them. And I'm thinking I should probably break these up into chunks, and I can release them as individual videos. Anyway, that's another conversation. But the big reveal about this is the possibility of people being on his level now. The possibility is that there are other players, and specifically some of them are PKers, player killers. Because you got to remember, this is basically SAO, but a fanfic of SAO, like a future version. Ugh. And the thing that's a big deal is it's already been revealed that 2 of the players that he knows of are people who died in the death game. So it implies that the people who died didn't leave the game. They were just in suspended or whatever, and then they woke up here. Their consciousness is there, which might mean he actually died during the final fight. I don't know. It's interesting. Almost irrelevant, because he's supposed to have a body in the real world, and it's going to deteriorate. Yeah, I still hate this anime. It's not even a good power trip anime, because at no point does it tries to make you feel like he's at a disadvantage, that he could lose a fight, but it doesn't give you that feeling. It tries to make it. And not to mention, some of the art style really just feels off. I don't usually bitch about art style, but like I really don't. But something about this one just hits me wrong. I can't put my finger on it. All the characters feel generic. All the characters feel bland. And super tropey. You have badass protagonist who doesn't understand things. You have his assistant who's in love with him, who is also a badass. You have assistant's assistant who's learning to become a badass. You have adopted daughter, not joking. She's like a fox girl. You have normal NPC guy he became friends with and is kind of edgy. You have battle-hungry princess that he accidentally proposed to. That's like the weird thing. Because that's giving a sword in their culture is proposal. So, I don't like it. I really don't like the anime. The only reason I even watch it is so I can talk to you guys about it. I don't like it. Mind you, I don't like SAO, and this feels like a knockoff SAO. I used to like SAO. Here's one of the ones that we ate good on, and I think this is the season finale. We get to see the conclusion of whether Kafka Hibiki is going to be allowed to survive. You also get to see the conclusion of the fight he was having, which was really good. It was a good fight. Animation on point, music on point. The fight itself, super on point. Like, it is good. It is fucking good. Great storytelling. I absolutely love it. I do highly recommend. If you haven't been watching Kaiju Number 8, this should have been the season finale. I do recommend watching it. Most of the episodes are already in dub. There's like the last 2 are not. I don't know why they're not, because they were originally releasing sub and dub at the same time. And this is an anime you can watch them both. The voice actor for Hibiki is great. Alright. Finally got a conclusion to this this major arc where they killed this guy right here. And my problem with it is, like, the main character, he is pretty powerful. Like, he's able to instantly heal himself because of his abilities. Like, his abilities are insane. And most of the story is not how powerful he is. A lot of it is the intrigue and the espionage stuff, which is why I do enjoy it. Plus, the world building of, like, the magic and stuff is cool. Magic and technology is cool. But where my problem comes in at is they set this guy up like he powerful, obscenely powerful in like the old school forms of magic. He at one point mind controls the whole JSDF that he was hiding at, and then when they finally fight him, he goes down like a bitch. Like he gets taken out almost immediately. Mind you, he was being attacked by like three separate three separate major badasses. I just wish they had like stretched this is more of a writing issue because they're following the manga. I do wish the fight had been stretched out a little bit, like gave him a little bit more teeth. It does set up the next arc that it's gonna finally be the families are. Tatsuya is gonna finally have to deal with the families because his family I don't think is one of the 10 families, but it is a prominent family. But I think because his sister is supposed to be becoming the next leader of their family, and that causes a lot of problems for him. It's good. Don't get me wrong. I do enjoy this anime. I just got some issues with it. This is definitely an anime you wait for the arc to finish before watching it. Alright, that time I got reincarnated as a slime. We ate good with this one. This is one of those we ate good with. It introduced several things. And it also fleshed out quite a bit. One, not Rimuru, Rimurus. The other demon lord, little fairy one. She plays a little bit of a role in this. They finally give her a home because she finally gets to move into Tempest, and basically she gets to open a dungeon. Now that's actually a really big plot device. That's really cool because one of the big issues that goes on for like really powerful creatures, monsters specifically, is they naturally release magicules, and if magicules are left ambient in the air, it'll create monsters. And normal monsters, they have like a little battery thing that absorbs it, and then they can control it, use it accordingly as like a power source or whatever. But for someone like Veldora, who has an obscene amount of it, and he has to release it every so often, because one of the times he released it, he literally created a catastrophe class monster. So he's been holding it in, and he has a limit. The dungeon that gets created allows him to just cut loose and fight. So that's kind of fun. That's kind of cool. But that's later on plot. That's the next arc that's coming up. So Rimurus is basically given the ability to make a dungeon underneath the Coliseum they're building, because it gives a place for like when they're not having tournaments and big events for like adventurers to go down there and fight and practice. So because Rimuru is very much about like trying to build up the economy of his town. He if you all saw the one before this, the merchant guy that he's been working with has officially become his treasurer, which is kind of cool. So yeah, he continuously yeah, so he's doing that. He's got the Coliseum being built. There's some cute Rimurus, or not Rimurus, yeah, Rimurus, the fairy, and her henchmen's. There's some really cute moments with that. I do recommend watching it, for nothing else. But one of the big things they start showing is like how other nations view Rimuru. The Hero King in Dwargon, like the others are like, he's a threat. They're afraid of him. His other council members, but he's like, I've seen him. I know him. He's a good person. We don't have to worry about him. So that was good. I did enjoy that. The other one is you find out who the leader of the elves are, and it's this empress who's like 2,000 years old. And she's really pissed off that she didn't get to meet Rimuru when he first became a demon lord. There's like a lot of things that they bring up that she like, I wish you would let me have done. That her favorite sweet shop is moving into Tempest, and she's being invited to like the big festival that's coming up. And the person she's talking to, it's kind of trying not to let her go because he views it as dangerous. She points out, she eventually ends the conversation with, a demon lord just invited me to something. It's more dangerous for me to turn him down. It's a good point. Rimuru not only is actually one of the more powerful demon lords at this point, he doesn't realize it yet. He's also an accepted demon lord. That alone is scary enough in its own right. But yeah, so it's showing like how the rest of the world is starting to view him. Not to mention you have Veldora there, you have Milam, you have Rimurus now. So he's got two demon lords who work with him, live with him, and you have the storm dragon, a true dragon who stand above demon lords. Yeah, and then it gets crazier than that actually a bit later on. Oh, and this is not even talking about like Diablo being there. They don't even know, like, if people knew who Diablo was, that he'd be on that list of things to worry about. And for those who don't know who Diablo is Primordial Black, also known as Noir. He is one of the original demons, one of the first. There was like 5 of them, 7 of them, each one a different color. Guy Crimson was one of them. He's actually the second. He's one of the most powerful, one of the 2 most powerful. The other one being Noir. Yeah. Because Guy Crimson basically like put his foot down, beat the shit out of all the others, enslaved 2 of them. And Noir is the only one who said, yeah, no, you're not. Stopped him. No. Anyway, it was a good episode. Even me telling you all this, I still recommend watching it. It's so awesome. All right. Let's see here. This one didn't have a new episode, sadly. I haven't watched this yet. Windbreaker. We actually had another episode. Wasn't expecting it. It's building up into the next arc. This one had some... didn't have good action, but it has a very good setup to what's coming on. And I do look forward to it. You get to meet a couple new characters. You get to see more evolution of Sakura in this. And you get to see more of the dynamics of the school. That's pretty much it. There's really not much to talk about with the episode, but it was a good episode. It does a very good setup for the next arc. And creates a new antagonist to look into. And one of the nice things is, it sets it up for him to not show up. Because one of the problems with introducing these 2 kind of characters is they're obscenely powerful in their own way. They're obscenely powerful in their own way, so how can they can, like, it's like having Captain Yamamoto show up for everything when in Bleach. You know, like, he's so obscenely powerful. What's the difficulty in the story? Alright, I think I haven't watched this yet. Saw the first episode of this. I really don't care for it, but I want to push my way through. There was nothing special that stood out about this, just something campy. Oh yeah, that's not even a new episode. There was no new episode on that this week. I haven't watched this, but this this arc finished. And that's all the new stuff. That's all the new stuff. This one is listed as newer because they're caught up on all their dubs, I think, or they're close to. All right. Oh, I gotta fix that too. There we go. I'll move myself a little over. That's not what I wanted. There we go. Who's messaging me? Oh, no one's messaging me. It's group chat stuff. All right. All right. I think I should probably talk about my recommendation when it comes to new animes to watch. I need to actually keep a list of the ones I've recommended because I don't remember which ones I've said. Oh yeah, I also need to see Spy X Family. I've been putting that off. I don't think I've recommended this one, so I'm going to recommend it now. Banished from the hero's party, I decided to live a quiet life in the countryside. That is a goddamn mouthful. Sorry. Checking the alerts on my phone, which I really shouldn't be doing on stream. I recommend this one. The main character, like, it does several things that most other animes don't do. One, the main character and his love interest don't, like, fall in love on episode 12 and then, like, they're awkward the whole... No. They pretty much get together and fall in love, like, episode 4. And they're, like, he's a very intelligent character. If you give him an ability scores, his wisdom is his highest score. He understands what his limitations are. He understands what he's going to do. And he understands how to interact and be around people. He's not socially awkward. And incidentally, a lot of the story is not the main character doing things. It's him taking these people who need to heal and helping them. The person in the picture is not the character I'm talking about. That's his sister Rudy, who is the hero, who is supposed to try and save the world. And her story is devastating. It's fucking heartbreaking. It's awesome. It's a really good story. There are a lot of moments that I tell people about that I really like. One of the weird ones is, so everybody has these runes on their. Usually, you can see it on their hand, or it's shown on their hand when they want to show it. I think. Either way, it's their blessing. You know, the rune thing's a different anime. The blessing, and it basically is like you being assigned by the god your class, and your blessing kind of tweaks your personality. It doesn't control it, but it tweaks it for most people. So, for instance, if you have the blessing of Bar Brawler, which is actually one of the characters, you get rather aggressive in your first response to dealing with things as you punch it in the face. Hey, Jello, how's it going? And hers, the hero one, is the most devastating. It erases your ability to feel emotions. You can't feel hot or cold. You don't need to sleep. You don't need to eat. So you have almost no reason to live life. You're literally driven as the hero to always be trying to save the world and kill the demon lord. And that's her problem. She has no connection to her humanity. Her only connection was her brother. And because of one of the other party members, they kicked her. They tricked him. I'm going to say tricked him into leaving. And that's her story. But the story doesn't follow her specifically. It's following more her brother Gideon, also known as Red, or Red, also known as Gideon, and him trying to live a quiet life as an apothecary. It is a very good, heartfelt story. And the second arc, I'm not going to tell you the second arc, because there's two seasons. That's just the first season. The second season carries it on great. It's beautiful. It's cutesy. It's very good. It's not a super action-packed anime, but when it does have fights, they're really well done. It's really well animated. So if you're not looking for like a Dragon Ball Z, you're like, yeah, I'm fighting you, then this is an anime I recommend. That's my weekly recommendation for an anime. If I haven't already recommended this one, I can't remember. I need to actually write a list on which ones I've recommended. All right. See if there's anything else I wanted to cover anime geek stuff wise. You're right, it's not the optimal best story, but it hits a spot for me. It really does hit a spot for me. Like specifically like Rudy. I really like Rudy. Rudy and the Assassin Girl. I like both of them. It's just super adorable. Their way of interacting with the world is great. It's hilarious. And not to mention the way Rudy takes her rage out on Ares the first time. Like, I thought that was in her head. Spoilers for this one. Ares is the guy who kicked Red out of the party. He's the sage, which is basically the high-level magic user. And when Rudy finds out the truth, she punches him in the side, like in the rib, like just below the ribs. And you just see a giant hole there. And you're thinking it's in her head. That's what she wanted to do. No, it's gone. It's missing. And then she heals him. Spring anime? Please define spring anime to me. What do you mean? Because unfortunately, all the animes I was following, almost all the good ones I followed, just had their season finale. But if you want to talk about the ones that just finished, which would be the spring animes, Tsukumichi, Moonlight Fantasy. Hands down. Like, no competition. Then it would be Tsukumichi, no competition. There are a couple animes that have hit a spot for me. Archdemon's Dilemma, How to Love Your Elf Bride, that hit a spot for me just because like the lovey-doveyness in it. Like that's a part of my heart that's messed up, like where I haven't had that kind of affection in my life. It hit a spot. I hate Newgate. Every time I see this, I'm going to mention how much I hate Newgate. I don't know why I keep watching it. Oh yeah, to talk about it. I do want. This is a new one that's just starting. The Strongest Magician and the Demon's Lord was a human. I'm gonna wait until at least 3 episodes are out before I start watching it. But if the community says, "Hey, you need to start watching it now," then I will. Girl Brand Cries that hit. Let me take a look. What's the name of it? Take a look at it because I'm always looking for anime recommendations. Is it on Crunchyroll? Else I should ask. Because I don't want to get any more subscriptions. High Dive is like the only other one that has animes. Well, Netflix. What's its actual? Because I'm not seeing it. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. It's not licensed? Oh, okay. Don't worry about it. I'm sorry. Another anime worth mentioning, because I want to talk about its positive and negative simultaneously, is this one. So hear me talk about the positive. The way it's animated and the way the story goes is really well done. It has a lot of compelling characters, a lot of interesting characters. Even the characters who only show up for an episode or two are really well done. That part being said, the thing I fucking hate about this anime is the way they seem to sexualize the kids. Like the way he poses, the way he dresses, I'm like super sus. Yeah, I try not to do that anymore. Like I did it when I was back in the Navy, but that's because they had VPN on top of VPNs and I got away with it. But I just don't want to do that anymore. I could probably get some family member to do it. And then her, like they give the excuse that her skin gives off poison, so she needs to dance and be damn near naked to use her powers. And it's just I hate that. If it wasn't for the story is actually good and the animation is super on point, this would be a garbage anime. This would actually be, hey, you watch this, there's something wrong with you kind of anime. But yeah, unfortunately we ate really good, but now unfortunately now we're running out of food. Because a lot of the animes that I like to watch, that I want to watch, they're just not, they're not making new episodes right now. But the good news is a lot of them, they do have their next season already announced. Tsukumichi's already got season 3 announced. Let me take a look. Because I don't think a release date. I'm okay with like fan service being in an anime, like legitimately like fan service. Like you have the obvious like they go to the beach one, an overly busty women. I'm fine with. Harem animes, depending on how it's done, I'm on the fence about. Kaiju number 8 just got announced to having its next season. Let me just show you all this while I'm looking at it. So yeah, we have Kaiju number 8's next season, and there's also a stupid phone game that's been announced. I've been playing Solo Leveling. My cat's getting into the garbage. Let's see here. Oh, Sukin of Rice and Ruin. Hang on a second. Zane! Get out of the garbage. It's a new thing he's been doing. He's been getting into the garbage, and I don't know why. Season 2 of Windbreaker has been announced. I don't know who that is. Sorry, I'm trying to keep him from getting in the garbage. Taking advantage of the fact he knows I won't hit him. I won't strike him in any way. But he still runs when I move a certain way. Let's see here. Yeah, this is the arc I was talking about coming up. I'm really waiting for the next season of that to come up, because that's going to be good. Let's see here. Don't know what the fuck this is. Yajirobe, Super Vegito are getting more in on the action. Didn't know they were doing another movie. Assuming it's a movie. I've yet to see this one. I need to. I could just type it in and look for it, but I'm not going to. Oh yeah, new characters for the live-action one's been announced. That's good. But that's on Netflix. I do want to watch this one. The Suicide Squad Isekai. That could be really good. It could be trash really good. Let's phrase it that way. Is this the anime you were talking about? Bocce the Rock? I've been hearing good things about the new Code Geass. I'm on the fence if I want to watch it. Let's see here. All right, I'm just gonna look it up. See if I can remember how to spell Tsukumichi. You've been a great help, Crunchyroll. Fuck you. also spelt it wrong. There it is. I had to go through Google to find this. There we go. It has been announced. I'm checking to see if, yeah, release date's not announced yet. Okay. So, well, at least it's been announced. That's what I am happy about. But as I was saying, I am okay with like the sexualization of characters or of an anime. I'm okay with it. I'm honestly am. There are times that it does, but one of the things that does bother me is the overly perverted character, specifically when it's non-consensual. So let me explain the two. Mineta in My Hero Academia, Master Roshi in the original Dragon Ball. No, I'm good. I'm good. Don't need those characters. Don't need them. Those should be villains, if anything. On the other hand, you have Isekai, whatever the fuck his name is, in High School DxD. I'm more okay with him, and the reason why is because he does it consensually. He peeps and gropes consensually. He doesn't just try to like fall into their boobs all the time and stuff like that. I'm more okay with that. One of the ones that kind of like it doesn't seem to fit the world right is when you're watching That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. You have Shion, who's constantly like the most powerful thing in that whole universe has got to be that button holding her boobs in place. Because like early in the show they did a lot more fan service to it. Now it's just pretty much just her showing her cleavage all the time. That's it. And that's fine because Rimuru doesn't show, like, he occasionally will show, mind you, technically they're gender neutral. Even the writer said, yeah, they're gender neutral. They have no gender. They're a slime. They do have a preference, though, but it's not something that's brought up frequently. Alright. Any topics y'all want to cover before I start winding down the stream? This week in anime is, we don't have much to talk about, unfortunately. I do apologize for the technical issues at the beginning. Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. Love big boobs. Don't get me wrong. But it feels out of... like, in High School DxD, having that an obscene amount of cleavage fits perfectly. Fits with the story, fits with the theme. Having Shion doing it all the time, it's like... no other character does that. Literally no other character. At least I can't think of any. Like, early in the anime, they kind of had, like, a little bit of that stuff in it. But now it's just not a thing. And then you have, like, Milim, who has the body of a 14-year-old, but she's, like, over 500 years old because she's that way, is dressed super, like, damn near naked. But whatever, I can deal with it. I don't like it, but I can deal with it. You know, don't, like, and don't get me wrong, I do like big boobs. I love cleavage, all that good stuff. And depending on the anime, it fits. It works. Like, hell, a good example, My Hero Academia. You have Creati, whose real name I can't remember. Her revealing clothing, it fits with the story. It matches why the character would dress that way. I'm okay with it. Mind you, she's like a high school girl. Like, Japanese high school. Hang on, I gotta look that up. I'm curious. What is Japanese high school ages? Jobless Reincarnation is the one that goes way too far with it to me. If it wasn't for I do enjoy the, let's see here, 15 to 18, so it's roughly the same as America. Is the one that goes too far with me. When you have like a little baby stealing women's underwear, wearing it on their head and stuff like that, that's where it goes way too far. If it wasn't for Jobless Reincarnation has like a legitimately interesting story and an interesting approach to things, I'd probably hate it. I don't like the fact that it does have heavy harem aspects to it. Like at first it kind of frowns on it, but then he just straight up builds a harem. And he marries each one of them. He ends up with 3 wives, memory serves. And then effectively like a couple other women who are like there. Yeah. And it deserves it. It really does. But one of the things it does address that I do really like is, so I'm gonna tell you all a bit about myself. Growing up, I was ostracized a lot. I was made fun of. I've always been a rather chunky person, and I didn't take care of myself. I didn't wear deodorant enough. I didn't clean myself enough. Take your pick. I just didn't take care of myself. So I was made fun of. I was disliked. And the main character in his original life, that was the same thing with him. He was ostracized, he was tortured, he was socially abused, and to degrees further than me. And to see the character have that dynamic and him trying to get over to the point that he wouldn't even leave his own room. To see them having the character deal with that in his new life and moving on, I feel is such a great dynamic. But him having that pervy side as a little kid, and him stealing underwear, and him having a shrine to his first love's underwear, bothers me. I do give the whoever controls the release schedule for the anime a lot of props, because they had his spoilers. They had his dad die on Father's Day. That was evil and it was beautiful. There's a lot of interesting dynamics. He's powerful because he was able to start learning earlier, and he was able to learn to increase his mana pool, which people thought you couldn't do. That which actually is another anime. Otherworld Pharmacy kind of does the same thing. Well, no, it doesn't do the same thing. I take that back. Ignore me. Just the idea that a character finds a mechanic in the world that people thought wasn't real, and then they exploit it and they become better. The wrong way to use healing magic is with Rose, for instance. The main character didn't have to figure out how to break healing magic. She had already done it. She just taught it to him. Which is another anime I recommend. I can't wait for season 2. Which I don't think season 2 has been announced, which concerns me. So, Jobless Reincarnation is a good anime. It addresses a lot of adult topics. Abuse, emotional issues. Hell, at one point he's dealing with erectile dysfunction. I'm not fucking with you on that. And they deal with all these mechanics, all these story elements, all these personality mechanics, and they do it in a very beautiful way, in a really good way. If they didn't have his super pervy side where like he does the women underwear thing, I would actually like the story I would like it even better. Mind you, he does tone it down a lot. Like in the first season, everywhere. Second season, tone the fuck down. So, if you are looking for an anime that's got that kind of compelling adult-ish kind of story, it is a good anime to get into. However, you have to bite the bullet and deal with his pervy side. There's like a couple flare-ups in the later seasons, but once you get past it, it's not bad. Especially as he becomes more of an adult. My friend's playing Hunt Showdown? Sorry, I got Discorded up and just noticed someone playing Hunt Showdown. Yeah, which makes sense. Wasn't the main character being accused of being a pedophile? Or a PDF file, I should say, because I hate using that word. I'm not going to get into the discussion of what's going on with, what was it? Dr. Disrespect. I'm not going to even get into that. God damn. I'm pissed off about him and all the things he did, don't get me wrong. I'm more pissed off that so many people knew and did nothing about it. So, the one thing I do want to bring up, this is kind of like a weird discussion I want to talk about, because I was talking about it with my sister. In animes and cartoons and stuff like that, one thing that is commonly done is a flat-chested, non-curvy woman is supposed to be, just shows them as a kid. That's all they're depicted as. Oh, you're just young. You just haven't developed. And, you know, not all women have that kind of body type. So, if there are characters like that, but they are still a love interest, people look at it as a, what's the word I'm looking for? What is it? Is it not Lolita, because that's a specific dressing style. I forget the term for it, but basically usually people call it a stand-in for PDF file behavior. I forget what it's called, where it's like they're dating someone who's underage, and even though they're actually not. Because like one specific example that comes to mind is Arfawete. I'm butchering its name, from Commonplace to World's Strongest. His first wife is a vampire chick who's over 500 years old, or 300 years old. would you still consider her in that category? Like, she still looks young. It's not that she has the body of a young kid. It's just that she's not developed. She doesn't have curves. Yeah, because I'll tell y'all right now my IRL preferences. Like, I like shy tomboy muscular women or bimbo girls. Not gonna lie, that's my two preferences. Like, I apologize if you're new to the stream and you're not used to me talking about this stuff. I'm 100% open and I will talk about literally anything. I try to avoid talking politics on here, but that's because I talk about it on my Jack Daedalus channel, which is where I commonly stream. Right now we're doing Elden Ring, Shadows of the Erdtree. I know I haven't that's why I haven't released a video this week, is because I've been caught up playing Shadows of the Erdtree, both with my stream character and non-stream character. So. Is there any other anime you want to bring up? Anything else we want to talk about? I'll give you some time to think about it. I'm going to see if there's anything else I wanted to cover, because I usually keep some stories tucked away that I wanted to cover, but I got to remember to do them. I enjoy the fuck out of it. Have you played a Souls-like before? Any of them, even if it's not FromSoft. Have you played any of them? Because one video I do want to talk about, I want to make. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. A video talking about what is a true Dark Souls player. Because you have nowadays a lot of people saying, like, if you spirit summon, you're not a real Dark Souls player. If you summon co-op, that's fine. Bloodborne is not a good Souls-like to start with because it's so fast-paced. Elden Ring is pretty fast-paced too, but there's a lot of things that can cushion it for you. Yeah, and you can't brute force in... Well, you can, but not very well in Bloodborne. But in Elden Ring, Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, you can brute force. I just love the story of Bloodborne. That's my thing. And the trick weapons are cool. Don't worry about doing the DLC at first. The DLC is difficult, but I love how difficult it is. I'm also an idiot. But the video I want to make is talking about what makes a true Dark Souls player is not if you don't use a summon or not, or a co-op or not, or if you use magic, because some people say that's cheating too. Or if you use a shield, some people call that cheating. No. To me, a true Dark Souls player is somebody who didn't give up, who doesn't give up against that boss fight, who changed their way of fighting to beat that boss, who just learned the mechanics of the fight, who learned to dodge everything, learned to power through everything. That is a Dark Souls player. You want someone who just doesn't give up. That's what a true Dark Souls player to me is. A true Souls-like player is. And it doesn't matter if you use cheat mechanics. It doesn't matter if you use gimmicks. It doesn't matter. Did you beat that boss? Because they're going to cheat. You should fucking use all your resources too. That's a video I kind of want to do to talk about this, because it's kind of a big deal to me. I hate gatekeeping. I really do. To me, the people who say do the biggest gatekeeping are the biggest tryhards. They actually can't do most of the things they say. They just wish they could. So they try to ostracize those who don't. Because most of, like, the epic speedrunners, they don't think that way. Most of the ones who do the major challenges, like of no-hit runs and stuff like that, they don't say that shit. They're like, oh, cool. You beat the game. I'm really proud of you. But yeah, if you're here next stream, next week, and you're getting into Elden Ring, let me know how you're doing. If you want, I can, depending on how I feel, I might give you my my group code and maybe message you on Discord, and if you ever need help. My rule is you have to try a boss once before asking for help, but I'll see about jumping in and helping you out. And I can give you some tips. Especially if you jump in on my Jack Daedalus stream, which I stream. I've been streaming every day on that one because of Elden Ring DLC, but normally I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I try to stream 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, but because of my bipolarism, my sleep is super inconsistent. But the offer stands, Jello. Just let me know how it's going next week, and then we'll see. We'll move forward from there. Alright, I think that's what I got. I'm going to try and stream a little bit later after I get my voice back and get some food in me. I'm going to try and stream some Elden Ring. We just got past Mesmer, for those who don't know. Very proud of that one. That was a tough fight. And yeah, and apparently people are saying he's the new Millennia. I'm like, okay. I beat him, no problem. Pretty proud of that. Yeah. Plan to see y'all in the next one, hopefully, maybe, possibly, we'll see. I gotta do this. Ugh. My controls are weird. I've got two separate computers for those who don't know, and I had to switch keyboard and mouse. Anyway, yeah, see y'all in the next one.